In this video, I'm going to take you through all of the steps required to create the creative illustration assignment. So the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and start with a blank canvas. I'm going to give this canvas a name. And it asks for a 800 by 600 canvas. That's one of the defaults here. And you can go ahead and put it as transparent if you want. I'm going to keep mine as a white canvas, so I'm not going to check that box. I'm just simply going to hit OK. Then what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and save this early, and I'm going to save it often. So before I even start to work, I'm going to go ahead and do a file save. It'll automatically pick up the creative illustration name. For a format, here is where I want to choose the PXD layered pixeler image. And what that's going to do is it's going to maintain all the layers for my creative illustration. So rather than just saving this as a single JPEG, if I want to go back and edit it, I can go ahead and have all my layers available. Hit OK. I'm going to choose my H drive, go to TV7, Digital Images, ImageMagick, and I created a couple of extra folders here just for me for this video. And I'm going to go ahead and call this Creative Illustration. So now that's saved. And what I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and all of these have to be individual layers. So I don't want to open up my first image. And one of the things that you'll see is that I already have all of my images saved to my H drive. So these are going to be the images that I'm going to use for this creative illustration assignment. So what I want to do is I want to go ahead and first add my first image as a layer. So I'm going to go ahead and go Layer, open Image as a layer. Here's when I add the jungle image. Now you'll see that this is too big to begin with. So what I'm going to have to do is zoom out a little bit, go to Edit, Free Transform, and then I'm going to try to resize this image so that it fits on my canvas. And then whatever is outside my canvas area is actually going to get cropped off. So just get it close enough. It's fine with me. I can build my creative illustration from there. I'm going to go ahead and hit Enter. What that will do is it'll apply those changes. So there's my new image here. So I want to go ahead and get rid of the sky. Easiest way to do that is with my Magic Wand tool. And my Magic Wand, I'm just going to go ahead and guess on my tolerance. I'm going to say maybe 50 to start out with. And I'm going to go ahead and select that sky, and it does a pretty nice job. I see that there's a few other areas here that it's not going to erase, which is going to be fine for now. This is something I can always go back in, and if I have time I can clean it up to make it look a little bit better. But I'm just simply going to select the sky and hit the delete button, and that should get rid of the sky. Control D is my shortcut for deselect. Now I'm going to go ahead and I want to add the fire sky in the background, and I'm going to put that between my background canvas layer and my layer 1 here, which is my jungle. Add another image as a layer, add that fire sky, and do the same thing here. I'm going to have to free transform that so that it fits my new canvas. I'm going to go ahead and move that, go ahead and move that behind, and that looks like a pretty nice job. And again, you can still see here where I probably should remove a little bit more of that sky. Maybe I'll do that before I turn this project in. That is a pretty nice job there. Got a little bit of a sign right there, and I may actually go back to there and expand that a little bit more, just so that I can't see that, hide that behind my trees. That should be pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and start to add the one object and the two characters on here, and I'm going to do those each by editing them on their own canvas first, and then cutting them from wherever they are, and then pasting them on this creative illustration. Before I go any further, I'm going to go ahead and just do a Control S, which is my shortcut for save. I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to put it on top of. So I'm just going to continue to save this every time. The big thing is making sure that I save that as that PXD layered pixeler image. That way it maintains all these layers if I have to go back and edit in the future. I'm going to go ahead and do a file, open image. I'm going to go ahead and open up this balloon. I'll put that in the background, and this case I want to remove any of that white sky. Because this was a PNG to begin with, you'll notice that it actually doesn't have any white background that I need to clean up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a edit select all, and if I notice here Control A is the shortcut for select all, so I'll start using that in the future. And then I'm going to go ahead and do an edit cut, and I like cut because I get to see that it's gone. I'm going to come up here to this arrow right here, and this will allow me to get back to my creative illustration, do an edit and paste. I see that it's a little bit too big, so I go back to my edit free transform and get this so that it fits inside my sky, and I might have this partially behind my trees but definitely in the sky. That's good for now. Just hit enter, that places it, and if I want to go back in I could always move it, I could always resize it. I'm going to go ahead and open up my T-Rex. I'm going to go ahead and unlock that image from that background canvas layer. That way my magic wand, when I remove the white, I'm left with just a transparent background. If I didn't unlock that background layer, I still would have had white. So I'm just going to deselect that, and I'm going to do a Control A, which will select everything here, and the only thing that's left are the pixels that I want. So I can do an edit cut or a Control X. Come back to my little window arrow, and I'm going to go ahead and do a Control V. That'll paste that. And I have to move this T-Rex, move the layers around, get this where I want it, and a little bit too big. Free transform that. I'm going to resize T-Rex so he fits on my jungle scene. Then I'm going to go ahead and open up my dragon. Same thing here. I'm going to unlock the pixels from the canvas, isolate the dragon itself, and then do a Control A. That will select all the pixels that are left. Control X for cut. Come back to my arrow. Control V to paste. I can see that this dragon is way too big. I'll free transform this one as well. And I might want this dragon just a little bit taller than the original. Place it, hit enter, and that's about it. Now I could come back in if I wanted to, and I could continue to clean up some of these images using my eraser tool or my magic wand and try to clean this up to get this as neat and clean as I possibly can. And when I'm done, I'm going to do a file save. Make sure I choose this PXD layered pixeler image. I can go ahead and hit OK, and it will go back to where I was. I can just save it and replace my original image. So that's it, some basic steps to create that creative illustration.